On today's show,
6 teams now hold a 2-0 series lead, but which ones have the best chance of ending in a sweep?
the other two series are tied at 1. Who's taking control tonight?
And honestly, pizza might be the only thing better than this week's meme team.
It's Thursday, April 21st. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to the starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast or joining us live on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
All 7, and we'll watch them fall. Rest in peace, Prince.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, starters blog editor, Trey Kirby.
Heyo!
Hey, yo! TK, what do you have for us?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters, and it has come to our attention that there was a certain in-house gauntlet thrown last night.
Know what we should do, Ernie?
What?
We should play a 3-game series against the starters.
Come on.
That's a great idea.
Them guys are Canadian. They only don't know hockey.
Okay, well, hey, let's beat them up.
That's right. Inside the NBA wants a 3-game series with your boys. And if they want a 3-game series, they're going to get a 3-game series. 4-on-4, 3-on-3 with a sub. It doesn't matter to us. We're in. And you guys can even have home court advantage over there in your studio as long as game 2 is on our home court right here in the cage.
Yeah.
Of course, Inside is going to have all of the basketball advantages. 45 years of NBA experience, a bunch of titles, a bunch of all-star appearances. They follow the dress code. They're always in suits. We wear them once a year. But your boys got the intangibles. We're way younger. Got 2 more beards. They're still killing us on Emmys for now.
Yeah.
And here's the big thing. We've got 0 co-hosts with man boobs. They have up to 2.
Oh!
Nonetheless, this is where you guys come in. Even though we're younger and in better shape and better looking, we're still gonna need a ton of help to beat the Inside the NBA guys. So let us know on Twitter what we need to do to be Inside the NBA in a 3-game series. Tweet it to us at #TheStarters. And if there's enough buzz, this legitimately could become a reality. I mean, Charles Barkley raced Dick Bavetta at an All-Star game.
Yeah. Let's
Anything
do it.
can happen.
We can play a 3. I like that
Yeah.
that Charles is doing hot yoga and you do bar 3.
That's right, yeah.
Pretty
You guys
equal.
got to match up.
Ah, sweet.
Okay,
sweet.
excellent. All right, fun show tonight, guys. We've got a new edition of the meme team, and we'll look ahead to tonight's 3 games. So first, we look back last night where the Heat, the Cavs, and the Clippers all took care of home court advantage. Their series all go to 2-0, and we actually have 6 higher seeds now that have that 2-0 series lead. Never easy to come back, so we got to play a new game called Is This a Sweep? And we're going to focus on last night's series, okay?
Yep.
So no Spurs, Warriors, or Hawks talk right now. Last night's series, Is This a Sweep? Trey.
Yeah, is this a sweep? I'll give you guys some facts about these series that are at 2-0, and if you think it's a sweep, pull out your broom
right.
and let me know it's a sweep.
Okay.
Our first one is in the Eastern Conference, and no matter what Stan Van Gundy, Stanley Johnson, Stanley Kubrick, the guy from that Eminem song, or Paul Stanley says, the Cleveland Cavaliers are up 2-0 on the Detroit Pistons with their 2 wins, coming by an average of 11 points. Is this a sweep?
Oh, you better believe it. Get out the brooms.
Yeah.
We're all, yeah,
Wow,
I'm-
all 3 of us.
Yeah, I'm hedging here hard because I had the Cavs in 6. I thought the
Right.
Pistons would make this a series, which they have for at times. But yeah, I'm with you guys. Broom's out on this.
You think that Pistons going home would get a game by the way they've played, but they keep poking that bear. They are making a tactical error
Yeah.
by talking all that junk to LeBron James. Stanley Johnson says he's in his head, and LeBron comes out and performs like an animal. If you say he's in his head, well, he's just going to perform harder. Stan Van Gundy said in game 1 that the fouls weren't going their way. LeBron comes out and has a miraculous game, 27, 12 of 18. Stanley Johnson says post-game, yeah, I'm in his head because he's doing things like this. Well, what do you think he's going to do in game 3 and game 4? He's going to get stronger. You're literally just waking the man up. You saw what happened in game 2. They went right at Stanley Johnson after that bump. And you saw what they did on the other end of the floor. The Pistons had 15 threes in game 1. They only had 4 in game 2 because they followed their leader. LeBron said, give it to me in the post, follow my lead on defense. We're up 2-0, and I don't think he's going to give the Pistons another win.
Yeah, game 1 jumps out. That was the game that they could have taken. I mean, they were up, 7 points there early in the fourth quarter. and then they fell apart. I think their lack of experience in the playoffs showed. Reggie got the tech, and it sort of went downhill. That was the one that they had the chance. You know, they got blown out last night. It doesn't look good.
Well, before the series, I mean, people picking the Pistons to win a couple games didn't pick them to win in Cleveland, really.
No, that's true. But the momentum now and the war of words not helping anything. You know, Stanley Johnson, I love it on one hand because it gives us something to talk about. On the other hand, he just got killed by him.
Yeah.
He got killed by him. LeBron's 7 of 9 when Stanley's on him. You're
Yeah.
not slowing him down. You're not in his head at all.
The Pistons have had 6 really good quarters against Cleveland, but they shot the ball so well in the first game. In the second game, they kind of regressed. Andre Drummond's good, but again, if he doesn't knock down those free throws, it really takes away some of his dominance. So I think the Cavs have kind of figured out what Detroit were going to do, and now they've got that blueprint. I think it's going to be tough for the Pistons to win one.
I just don't get what good it does to talk trash before you get a win, right?
I think he's 19, yeah.
I think Stanley might be in his head, but in a negative way. I mean, LeBron is coming out and destroying. You just let that sleeping dog lie.
Yeah.
I think one nice little move that the Cavs used in Game 1 that didn't work so well in Game 2 was Kevin Love at center. And Stan Van Gundy, he combated that pretty well. Kevin Love, in the fourth quarter in Game 1, at center, they were plus 13. They destroyed because Andre Drummond was coming out. But this is how Stan Van dealt with it. They just said, all right, Kevin Love's going to be at the 5. We're going to go right at him. And they did it throughout the game. They went to it in the second, third, and fourth quarter, and Reggie Jackson literally just went at Kevin Love, and Kevin Love was sort of back on his heels, and they scored pretty well over and over. They were -6 throughout the game, and when he saw Kevin Love in this opportunity here, hey, let's get behind him. They did a really good job of exploiting that. So Stan Van, a nice little adjustment right there, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
All right, Trey, next series.
All right, we're going to stick in the Eastern Conference for our next series, and in a battle of 1988 expansion teams that Jamal Mashburn played for, the Miami Heat have a 2-0 lead on the Charlotte Hornets with both wins coming by double digits. The Heat have shot better than 50% and outplayed the Hornets in both games. Is this a sweep?
No.
No.
No brooms.
No.
No
Wow.
brooms.
No, the Hornets have to hope the Heat cool off at some point.
They're on fire.
Yeah, they've been shooting the ball so well. Hornets are a good home team as well, and Marvin Williams has given them absolutely nothing so far. He's 1 for 17 from the field. He's very important to that team to help space the floor, knock down for threes. Nicholas Batum, though, that is a key injury for them. He was really good in Game 1, left the game in Game 2. Not sure if he's going to be right for Game 3.
Yeah, going down there with the ankle sprain, it never looks good, too, when your foot not only rolls but goes forward a little bit. He went to the back, didn't come back in this one. You know, a lot of them, we don't know as of yet what his exact status is, but some of them saying, like
Didn't
Al
sound
Jefferson
good.
saying,
Yeah.
that's pretty unlikely he might come back. That's a huge loss.
The Hornets got to feel good, though. They did help them cool off. In the second half of that game, the Heat only scored 43 points, and that was big. The Hornets shot 1 of 16 from three-point land. They just missed a ton of open looks. And sometimes things just don't go your way. I just feel like they're back on their heels. Going home is going to be an entirely different scenario.
It is amazing to think, though, this Heat team, this version of the Heat team, not your LeBron Heat teams, not your Wade Shaq Heat teams, have sort of put up their most impressive sort of 2-game span of offensive performance in their franchise history.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is wild to think of, and that is why I'm with you guys in saying, now put the brooms away, because first off, they should regress a little bit when it comes just down to knocking everything. And the Hornets' defense, they've actually, and you know, Steve Clifford talked about this in the post-game press conference last night, probably saw it on NBA TV, where he said, we're giving them the shots actually that we're happy with.
Yeah.
Only 14 of Miami's 76 shots came inside the restricted area. They're just hitting jumpers and they're hitting threes right now. You know, imagine they cool off a little bit. Maybe on the road that happens.
And they restricted the corner threes as well.
Even the
which is
rookies,
big.
Justice Winslow and Josh Richardson, are hitting shots for them as well. Everyone is contributing for the Heat.
All right, Trey, final series. What do you got?
All right, we're flipping over to the Western Conference, and not only have the Clippers won both of their games against the Trailblazers by at least 20, they've even outscored Portland in every individual quarter but one. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if Mr. and Mrs. Hooper even love Baby Dame. With the Clips up 2-0. Is this a sweep?
Let's drop some dimes.
No.
Wow. Sure, it's surprising.
Yeah, the Clippers have definitely come ready for Damian Lillard in those first 2 games.
Yeah.
Really made things hard for him to score and to get a shot. And you know, Lillard's one of those guys, he's a bit of a streaky shooter sometimes. Once he sees a first couple go down, he can really get hot. But the Clippers have not allowed him to do that. They've been in his face from the start.
I think he missed some open ones at the beginning of this game.
But he's rushing them. That's
Yeah,
the thing. He's getting them off quick because he knows that defensive coverage is coming for him.
Yeah, this is entirely new for him. To be the number 1 option, the number 1 and basically the number 2 option on a team in the postseason is entirely new for him. So I think mentally, he is rushing it a little bit. He's just not entirely comfortable. This reminds me of what the Spurs used to do to Chris Paul. Get the ball out of his hands. I don't think the other guys are going to do enough for you. but he'll be back in Game 3. I think he'll just be a little bit more calm, cool, and collected, and hit some of those open shots. Again, there were open looks. The defense was better. This team just didn't get a W.
The Blazers almost have the exact opposite problem of the Hornets. The defense hasn't been all that bad against the Clips. They just can't hit a shot to save their life right now. I liked one little thing Terry Stotts did in Game 2. We talked about it in Game 1. The Clippers just did an unbelievable job of trapping that pick and roll. In Game 2, Stotts decided to get Lillard off the ball a little bit more. He got better looks. Still wasn't knocking them down. But the Portland Trailblazers home crowd, too, that has to be worth one win in my books. That is one of the best home crowds in the business, and I'd be shocked if that one ends in a sweep.
Yeah,
I can't believe we all agree, though. Sucks. This, by the way, reminds me of the creepy magic brooms in Fantasia. That is like one of the scariest little moments.
I'm going to take this one.
They're the
I'm sorry,
scariest
big one.
brooms out
I
there.
hated that.
Barkley, we know how to play hockey.
Yeah,
we know how to
yeah.
curl, too, Barkley.
Yeah, let's go.
You want to go curling?
We gotta take a break. When we come back, don't blink, Blake. Wouldn't want you to miss. Brand new edition of the Meme Team. You're watching The Starters. Back with The Starters. Shaq threw out the challenge. We're a game. But what do the Starters need to do to beat inside the NBA in a 3-game series? We asked for your help on Twitter. You got a few answers, Trey.
About 1 million people suggested Hack-a-Shack, which will be a big part of our strategy, but there's more. Double H says, have every play be a very solid play.
We can do
We're
that.
gotta do that. Teamwork is of the essence. Howdy says, all you need to do to win is simply run through the tape. Good point. But Alex Wiedner says one word. Brownies!
Oh, yeah.
Brownies!
We gotta make Barkley shoot 3-pointers.
Yeah.
26% for his career.
Yeah.
People are saying we gotta double everybody but Ernie. Maybe also a good strategy.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Let's hope we don't see Chuck's flapjacks. Your brownies are okay, but
All right, guys. The on-the-court basketball maybe hasn't been all that competitive over the last week, but the memes have been straight fire, and we're here to count them down.
At number 5, one of the best mascots in the game, Harry the Hawk. He may have damaged his eggs right here. Will he return this series? Nobody knows except his doctor. Here he is with the diagnosis.
Mr. Hawk, I'm just reviewing the footage of your injury. That looks pretty bad. I'm afraid you're looking at some very aggressive rehab. We're gonna have to list you as questionable for the next game.
Questionable? No!
Get well, Harry.
No, come on, Harry.
Get well. Come on, this is the playoffs. Fight through it, Harry. At number 4, Game 1, Clips, Blazers, Blake Griffin taking a little break, thinking about life. What does it all mean? The internet had some other suggestions what Blake was thinking about while he was zoned out there. You know, maybe when you hear mom's car door slam and you forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer.
yeah.
Oh,
Terrifying.
no. Busted. TFW listens to Tame Impala once. Or maybe he's just trying to think of a word that rhymes with DeAndre. It's not easy.
It's not.
No, you'd be zoned out.
At number 3, Maryland guards Jalen Brantley and Jared Nickens. Well, they've issued a dance battle called the Running Man Challenge, and people are loving it. It's catchy. We got My Boo. Here's the song that plays each and every time.
The song was great 20 years ago.
Yeah,
it's
literally
back, baby.
96. I'm glad it's back.
Justice Winslow of the Miami Heat, he crushes it. Everyone is doing it.
He's leading the
Yeah,
way
he's the
so
best
far.
at it.
Yeah.
He's got some moves.
The dab is dead. This has replaced it.
Uh-oh, it's dead
this
now.
is dead,
White guys are doing it.
Yeah.
Shut it down. That was a cool meme while it lasted. It is a fun dance. Great
The
song,
tap
right?
dancing sounds great.
At number 2, the San Francisco Chronicle recently photographed the Warriors in street clothes for a fashion spread in the newspapers. Some guys, well, they dressed to impress. Mo Spates, he wore cargo pants. And then the internet got to work mocking them. You know, it's nice to see Klay Thompson has never used pockets before. Welcome to Champs, says Leandro Barbosa. How can I help you? Oh, Harrison Barnes went to ITT Tech. It's the best way to get that degree. Anderson Varejao looking like Lenny Kravitz. Spot on, actually. The hair
Nailed it.
perfect. Steph Curry in the new Assassin's Creed.
That works.
Yeah, he's an assassin. My favorite, Mo Spates as a bouncer. That's going to be a $20 cover. And we're not doing hats, fellas. Or maybe they're just a very super cool new boy band. 73 and 9.
Can't even have a photo shoot anymore. At number 1, the Dab Kid in San Antonio. He's been at the first 2 games, and he's been in a great mood. Just quick dabs. He's been fantastic.
Oh, man.
Oh,
There's a great video on 48 Minutes of Hell, the Spurs blog, which chronicles This kid's dabbing.
Whoa!
Variety for just a dab.
I can't believe he's dabbing in a hat there too and doesn't pop it off somehow. Kid's got skill. So there it is. The first week of the playoff Meme Team Edition. Got to take a break. When we come back, is tonight the night DeMar DeRozan heats up? We'll look ahead at the 3 games. Back to the starters, 40 games in 40 nights. It never stops, guys. 3 games on tonight. Your TNT doubleheader gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the Thunder and Mavs. That series tied up at 1 game apiece. Second game on TNT, Warriors Thunder. Steph Curry still questionable, though the Warriors are up 2-0. And the one on NBA TV tonight, Raps Pace, 7:30 start. That one tied 1-1. But let's start with that Thunder Mavs series. True or false, as we've been doing here with the previews. After evening up the series, true or false, the Mavs have a realistic chance to upset OKC in this?
I think that's false.
False.
I think Durant and Westbrook refocus tonight and they steal back home court. Durant missed a lot of shots, but Westbrook just wasn't there mentally, and it looked like they couldn't find a way to win in the fourth quarter because Westbrook just mentally, he'd go back on defense here midway through the fourth quarter, and he allowed a pick at midcourt by Dirk Nowitzki to just totally knock him off. He didn't run around
didn't
it.
fight through it.
And then at the end of the possession, I mean, Dirk runs by him. You've got Dirk Nowitzki running by Russell Westbrook. Again, we're showing you Russ getting picked off. Basket. He didn't really want to fight around those picks. 40 seconds left. There's 40 seconds left in this game. Russ misses a 3, and he totally just walks back on defense. And this was a huge, huge possession for the Mavs to take control of the game. I don't see Russ doing this a second time in a row. This team knows how important this game is. He watched the Mavs just score bucket after bucket after bucket. And it was really, really close in the end, despite Kevin Durant missing all those shots. I think they take it back tonight.
Sometimes a loss can be good for a team like Oklahoma City Thunder because it does refocus them on where they need to be. And I just think the depth of talent will catch up at some point, and Oklahoma City will reassert their authority because Rick Carlisle's great and Nowitzki's great and all those guys are great, but surely the Thunder are just a better team and they're going to get this series in the end.
Yeah, can Justin Anderson and Wesley Matthews and those guys continue to keep Kevin Durant in check? Though I'm interested to see what Billy Donovan does in terms of just getting Durant some better looks. Again, we always talked about it with Brooks. Stop just giving him the ball and sort of clearing out and letting see him if he can score for guys, which he can do most of the time. But it wouldn't hurt to put him in pick and roll situations or on the weak side and get some motion going. Let him get the ball on the run.
It seems like when he's playing off the ball, he's just waiting for it to get swung back around to him. They need to get him involved in some actions. You see Steph Curry plays off the ball all the time, and he gets shots. I'm sure there are things they can do for Kevin Durant to get him some looks.
They did that in the last couple of minutes. He just couldn't knock.
No, he couldn't knock him down. He couldn't knock him down. I wouldn't expect for him to miss 26 shots again tonight. Another guy struggling in the playoffs, of course, DeMar DeRozan with the Raps. This one tied at 1, as I said. True or false? DeMar DeRozan will continue to struggle tonight. He's been brutal through the first 2 games.
It's got to be false. This win for the Raps has to just help DeMar relax and go on the road and make him realize you don't have to carry this team. They can win without you. Let's play some team ball. Let's win. This team has too many advantages to lose, and I think DeMar realizes that it's a mental issue with him, and going on the road, I think, will help.
In 2 wins against the Pacers during the regular season, he had 28 free throws, made 20 of them. He's taken 6 so far in 2 games. I think that is the biggest determining factor of this series.
Yeah, there's a look at DeMar DeRozan. Will he thaw out tonight? Because it's been rough. One thing I'm interested to see how the Pacers play is, will they try and take away the lobs that we saw the Raptors run with a point guard and Jonas Valanciunas on multiple occasions? We knew Jonas was going to be an advantage for the Raps as the best big in this series. But the Raps, time and time again in Game 2, be it Lowry in the first quarter or even late in the game with Corey Joseph, set that high pick, roll to the rim big man, and the Raps point guards were looking for him. Throwing it over the top, he's got good enough hands to finish. I want to know if the Pacers will try and sort of collapse, hedge a little harder on those pick and rolls, and if they do, will Casey counter by sticking guys, shooters in the corner, because that look would then be up and open when you take away the lob and you got the guy in the corner. And can they knock it down?
It's nice that they're looking for Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah.
And the Pacers are saying, hey, we're taking away DeMar, we're taking away Kyle Lowry. Do what you got to do to beat us. The fact that they can win with DeMar shooting 5 for 18 just shows if DeMar gets a little bit hot, This team
Yeah.
has way too much firepower for the Pacers to deal with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with DeRozan. He's been here before, so you do expect at some point he's going to shake it off and just start at least knocking down some of those shots.
As we talked about, a lot of these series 2-0. That Raptors-Pacers series, though, that one feels like
Yeah,
it's at
a
least
real
going
series.
6 or 7. And no matter who wins tonight, you'd think the other team would bounce back in Game 4. Can't wait for the games tonight. Got to take one more break, but when we come back, Lili's very solid play. Whatever this play is, we're going to run it against the inside the NBA guys.
Beautiful.
Back with the starters, there he is. Russell Westbrook arriving in Dallas, getting ready for Game 3 between the Thunder and the Mavs. That series tied at 1. That game on TNT, the first game of the TNT doubleheader.
We knew he was a Slayer fan. Looks like he's a Led Zeppelin fan as
Yeah,
well.
I guess so. I guess he's
So.
can't wait to see him dance tonight, though. And Charlie Villanueva interrupted again. Lee, where are we going for VSP?
We're going to Cleveland, but it's a play from the Detroit Pistons. Anthony Tolliver here with a beautiful feed to Reggie Bullock backdoor with a beautiful layout. That would probably be what Trey threw to Skeets for the cut if we played the TNT guys, because you're the speedy one. That's what I call a very solid play.
Now it's time for the highlight that wasn't a play, that wasn't converted, that could have been a highlight. Watch LeBron James on this play. Could have made some magic. Delly, nope. Instead, Delly goes outside for the three. It could have been a beautiful alley-oop.
Three's better than
Yeah,
2.
that's
It
right.
Doesn't matter.
Whoa!
Could have got the crowd into the game, and that was the highlight. That wasn't.
All
It was
right.
oh so close.
Now, before we go, we're not proud of this, but there's something we need to point out to everyone watching at home.
We missed a wedgie. This is real life. It's unbelievable.
I can't believe it.
Wednesday night, last night of the NBA season. We missed this. We were watching Kobe, we were watching the Warriors go
Yeah.
for 73. Starters fan Nate Whiteside had to send it in that we missed a wedgie number 44 on the year.
We're human. We're
Yeah.
human, okay?
Yeah.
But I can't
It
believe
slipped by us.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's a bummer.
It's unbelievable.
Shame. Come on. Come on. There were a lot of games on.
Ah, man, we were watching Kobe, I was watching Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. I mean, there was 13 games on it the final
Yeah.
night. We're not proud of it. All these people work here. Don't you have anything else to do?
It's fair, yeah. We earned this.
Well, now we're going to watch Game of Thrones and miss the other ones, too.
Lee, now you have to strip down naked and we'll shave your head. All right,
do
3
that after
games
the show.
on tonight. Thunder Mavs, Warriors Thunder, your TNT doubleheader. Raps Pacers on NBA TV. We're back tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And we'll have the Drop podcast early in the morning, talking about all the series and everything happening in the NBA. Wow, they're not going to stop.
No.
No.
We deserve it.
We blew it. Too.
We deserve it.
I feel the pain.
100%.
Feel the pain.
All right, thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, a good shaming can bring you back to ground zero.
Brace the night, people.
Shame.